Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to go through some quadratic word problems. Alright, so please pause the video and you can try to attempt first, then afterwards we will work together. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so this question has several parts to it. Alright, so a piece of wire 20 centimeter long is bent into a right angle triangle. Given that the longest length of the triangle is 9 centimeter and the other length is x centimeter, express the length of the third side in terms of x. Okay, so first things first, since it's a right angle triangle, right, let's draw the right angle triangle. Okay, so this is what we call the right angle triangle, and with the right angle here. The longest length of triangle is 9 centimeter. Alright, so we know that a triangle has three sides, and the longest side is what we call the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is the longest side, and this is 9 centimeter. Right? And the other length is x centimeter. So that means it's either one of these two. So let's put x cm over here. All right, and this third side here that the question is referring to, let's consider it another variable. Let's call it L. Okay, L. And the wire is this 20 centimeter long, is bent around this triangle, right, to form this triangle. So we can consider it as the perimeter, right? Perimeter. Okay, so given that, what is the equation of the perimeter? So we know that perimeter is all of the sides added up together. So let's write down. The perimeter is 9 plus x plus L gives you 20 centimeter, right? So let's try to simplify this one. So since they're asking for the length, let's try to put L as a subject. All right, so let's put L as a subject. So let's bring all of these numbers and variables 9 and x to the other side. So 9 bring over, there will be a minus, right? So 20 minus 9 plus x bring over, that will be minus x, right? So L will give you 20 minus 9, that is 11 minus x. Alright, so that's the answer. So don't forget your units. So just bracket it up and put cm. Okay, so that's the first part. So part A is done. Okay, let's move on to part B then. Okay, so part B, the question is asking for form an equation to show that it reduces to x squared minus 11x plus 20. Alright, so that means this is a proving question, right? So remember, what can we remember about any equation that is relating to a right angle triangle? We know that there is the Pythagoras theorem, right? Pythagoras. And I hope my spelling is right. Pythagoras theorem. Okay, and what about the Pythagoras theorem? The Pythagoras theorem states that a squared plus b squared gives you c squared. And we know that the c square is most often is the hypotenuse. So that means the adjacent or the tangent squared it, the addition of the square of the tangent and the adjacent will give you the squared value of the hypotenuse. So let's put in those values inside, all right? So we know that, let's say, we know that this side is x, right? So this is x squared, right? Plus L. So L, we know that it's 11 minus x. So we need to put down 11 minus x. And don't forget to square it. All right, and the hypotenuse is 9 squared, right? So that's done. All right, so all we have to do is just simplify out and open up the brackets. All right, so let me just open up this bracket. So that is what you got. And 9 squared, that's 81, right? So x squared plus 11 times 11. That's 1 to 1. 1 to 1 minus 11x minus 11x plus x squared. Alright, so make sure that 11 times 11, 11 minus x is minus 11x, minus times plus is minus, so that's a minus 11x, and minus times minus is plus, so it's plus x squared, and this is equals to 81. Alright, so now from this expression, we just have to make sure that it's as close as possible to this. Alright, so you can see on the right hand side is 0, right? So therefore, then we know that this 81 has to be shifted to the left hand side. Alright, so let's move forward. So let's bring 81 inside. So 121, when you bring here, plus bring over to the other side, that will be minus. So 121 minus 81, that will give you 40. So let me write down 40 minus 11x, that's minus 22x. Oops, I forgot there's another x squared over here, right? So that gives us 2x squared. Alright, and this is 22. Yeah, correct. Let me write that much more clearer. Okay, so this is equals to 0. Alright, so we are almost there. What can you realize that we haven't actually gotten to the proving, alright? So what can we see? Can you take a look that the coefficient of the x squared is actually 1, right? This is actually 1, right? And this is actually 2. So we know that we need to divide all of these factors by 2. Alright, so 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared plus 40 divided by 2 is 20 minus 22 divided by 2 is 11. X equals to 0. Alright, so let me just shift it around. X squared minus 11x plus 20 is equals to 0. And there you go. So let me write down, it's proven. Okay, so that's for part B. Okay, alright, so next part is, let's write down the question for part C. Alright, so for part C, solve the equation of x squared minus 11x plus 20 equals 0 and give your answers correct to 2 decimal places. Okay, so how can we solve this? Alright, so we know that this is a quadratic equation, right? So what can we solve the quadratic equation? We can use the quadratic formula, alright? Alright, do you still remember what's a quadratic formula? Okay, so quadratic formula is x equals to minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a, right? Okay, so what's all this a, b, c? Alright, so this a, b, c values here, you can actually take it from your quadratic equation from here. So let's take a look, alright? X squared. The coefficient of your x squared is a equals to 1, am I right? Okay, positive 1. The coefficient of your x is minus 11. And the coefficient of your c, or of your constant, alright? C is 20, positive 20. So all we have to do is just plug in all of these values into the quadratic formula. Alright, so let's try. Okay, let me try using another different color pen. I hope this is much more clear. Much better. Okay, so x equals to minus bracket. Alright, so b is minus 11. Alright, let me put that down. Plus minus square root b squared. Alright, so b squared again is minus 11 squared. Alright, minus 4ac over 2a. Alright, so that's what we have. So all we have to do is just simplify. So we got positive 11 because minus and minus is plus, plus minus square root over 2, right? Alright, so all we have to do now is just find the value. We know that 11 squared is 121 minus 4 times 1 is 4 and 4 times 20 is 80. So it's basically 121 minus 80. So let me just calculate that. That gives you 41. Okay, so we're almost there to completing this. Alright, so now when you're here, right, all you have to do is just separate into two parts. So we have 11 plus square root 41 over 2, or you also have x is equals to 11 minus square root 41 over 2. Alright, so all you have to do is just plot this value inside your calculator. Okay, so let's get it down. So square root 41, let me just put that in. Alright, so square root 41, alright, plus 11, and then divide by 2. That gives you 8.70. Okay, so I got a positive number of 8.7015. 5. Okay, there's several values, but let's just take a few of these values, all right? And for this side, all right, so let me just try to clear to solve this value. All right, so we have 11 minus square root 41, all right, and then divided by 2. So this gives you 2.2984. Okay, so we're almost there. Okay, all we have to do is just make sure that we correct it to 2 decimal places. All right, so to 2 decimal places, it's here. So 8 is more than 5, so we have to round it up. That will give us 2.30, right? And then 8.70, we round it correct to 2 decimal places. That will give us 8.70. So therefore, the answer for part C is 8.70 and 2.30. Okay, yeah, so these are the two answers for part C. Okay, so I hope you understand. If you have any questions, please just let me know. Just comment down below. I'll feel free to ask any questions and I'll try to answer one of them. Okay, I hope that's clear for quadratic formula and also Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.